The presidential candidate of Labour Party in the last general election, Mr. Peter Obi, and Governor of Abia State, Mr. Alex Otti, have written to the National Chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, to notify the regulatory body of the setting up of a 29-member Caretaker committee to organize the party's congresses and national convention within a period not exceeding 180 days. The letter dated September 6, 2024 and signed by Obi and Otti also informed the INEC chairman of the leadership crisis in the party. The letter formally unveiled the names of the 29-member Caretaker committee. In the letter, Obi and Otti, who convened the September 4 expanded stakeholders meeting of the party in Umuahia, the Abia State capital, where the committee was set up, stated, and I will quote, "You'll recall that Labour Party had a leadership crisis in recent times, culminating in the due recognition of the Abure-led National Working Committee, NWC, by INEC effective June 2024. This is sequel to the settlement brokered by INEC on June 27, 2022, end of quote. Obi and Otti also informed the INEC chairman that Senator Nenadi Usman and Senator Darlington Nwokocha were appointed by the stakeholders meeting as chairman and secretary, respectively, of the party's Caretaker committee. All right, Rufai, a lot going on in different parties. Yesterday was the PDP that it said was no longer, the opposition was dead. And now the Labour Party, which is supposed to be another opposition party, is undergoing crisis. They've written to the chairman of INEC.
I mean, what do you expect? When success comes, you see things like this. All of a sudden, everybody wants to eat the pie of Labour. The question I would like to ask the likes of Abure and Co. is that, who knew Labour Party before Peter Obi came in? The same Abure that before said it was automatic ticket for Obi is now saying otherwise because things are not favoring him. And the reason for all of this is because Obi and Otti are trying to say, okay, we are the leaders and the stakeholders of the party. Let's take over the party. They got in a Caretaker committee chairman, Nenadi Usman, to be able to run the party. So Abure feels disgruntled. The first fight was with Lamidi Apapa. Today is no longer Apapa. Today, Abure has become the new Lamidi Apapa. That's what happens to our politics in this country. But you see, it's also reflective of the Labour Party. This was the Labour Party that they claimed would be different. But it shows that they are never different. As long as they are the political class of Nigeria, it's always about them and what they stand to benefit. And it's constantly about what they can gain from the political party. The question will be, will Obi be able to run on the platform of already a decimated Labour Party? Time will tell. Will he be able to stand firm? Time will tell. But most importantly, that's how the cookie of many political parties crumble in this country. Vis-a-vis all of this, you're still having the fight with Nigeria Labour Congress, that they are the real owners of the party. But because the pie is juicy, it's not easy to get 6 million votes. All of a sudden, today we know Abure. Who was even Abure before Obi came to Labour Party in the political sphere? That's how cookie crumbles.
All right.
Okay, the point that was made after, I think, was it the 2019 general elections or 2023 general elections, is the need for internal democracy in political parties. The same political parties that claim that they want to lead Nigeria, lead Nigeria's democracy. If they themselves do not have internal democracy, then of course there will be a problem. And this is a major omission in our democratic process. We have seen in the People's Democratic Party issues regarding internal democracy that they have. We have seen it also in the ruling All Progressives Congress. We have seen the same drama in the New Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, leading to the exit of the chairman of that party during the 2023 general elections. And now we have Labour. Labour Party gave many Nigerians, particularly young people, a lot of hope. They thought that the party would be the alternative. But what have we seen since the election? A party of division. And I'm not making that up, I'm quoting Julius Abure. You know, a party not of unity, but of division. It was Julius Abure that made this point on Monday. So from Labour Party, if you are not hearing that, there's a Pampa faction or Julius Abure is having issues or that money has disappeared that some people cannot account for, now you have a situation whereby the Alex Otti, Peter Obi faction, let me say so, has now approached INEC. Now, Section 82, sub 1 of the Electoral Act requires political parties to report, to INEC, to the commission, before and after the organized convention and congresses. But the division that Julius Abure was talking about on Monday, when there was a national NEC meeting, they call it, National Executive Committee meeting. Now, is that the Congress that was held in Abia was illegal. Because according to the laws of the party, a governor, in this case, Governor Alex Otti, cannot, within the laws of the party, summon a Congress of the party, and that he cannot take decisions on behalf of the executive of the party. In other words, the Julius Abure faction does not recognize Senator Nenadi Usman, as the chairperson of the Caretaker Committee, nor does he recognize the stakeholders meeting that was purportedly held. Another point that Julius Abure made is that, look, qualification for the 2027 presidential election or governorship election is not automatic for anybody. He made a point that Peter Obi should forget the idea that he's automatically the candidate of the party, that it will be open to all aspiring candidates, ditto for governorship positions, including the position of Governor Alex Otti of Abia State. So what we see here is a party that is in trouble. And the biggest problem that we face in Nigerian democracy is that elections are won on the platform of political parties. But our political parties remain inchoate. They remain underdeveloped. Because, why? You can ask the question. Because they are special purpose vehicles. They are not political parties that are committed to change, progress, and development. They are special purpose vehicles that have been created, set up, to help people achieve their personal objectives. For as long as personal interests continue to override national interests in this country, we are not likely to have political parties that will be committed to the people's interests, that will project the people's interests. So all the points made on one side are going to the regulator, INEC. And on the other side, that it is, what has been done by the Peter Obi, Alex Otti faction, as it will appear, is illegal, just shows, the crisis that we have in our political parties. But the story is not just about Labour Party. If you carry a microscope and you check the other political parties, PDP, APC, NMPP, even the smaller ones, you will find the same problem. We need to develop the political party system in Nigeria for us to be able to consolidate democracy, for us to be able to take democracy beyond the level of personal egos, ambition, and personal interest, which is what is on display within the Labour Party, as is the case, I insist, in all the other political parties.
Indeed. I mean, for me, this just clearly shows that our political structure as a nation is not where we ought to be. After 24 years of uninterrupted democracy, I say this because for a thriving democracy, we should have, or we must have, strong opposition. And then, as has been established, because candidates can only contest on the platform of a political party, we need strong institutions, strong political parties in that sense. A number of people thought the Labour Party is different from the establishment. The traditional parties like the APC, the PDP, was largely, the last elections was largely youth-driven, and the obedient fever caught fire. Now, what's happened since then is that a number of things have then come to disrupt the equilibrium of the party. And if you dig deep into it, at the end of the day, what the issue is, as with a lot of successful political parties in the past, is a matter of personal interest. And when success comes comes for a party. The Labour Party currently has one governor, one sitting governor, and that is the governor of Abia State, Alex Otti. And of course, the leader of the party, Mr. Peter Obi, who have now written to INEC saying that the party hasn't been run as it ought to be, citing the examples of congresses held at ward level and local government level before a national congress is held by the current chairman, Julius Abure, the factional chairman, Julius Abure. What for me is the challenge is that perhaps it's time for us as a nation to begin to look towards the proposal of independent candidates so that we can take away this greed and power from political parties who, having gotten a successful candidate, can then begin to run amok. We saw what happened with the Labour Party. In truth, a lot of times people just cross carpet, and at the end of the day, we don't even know the difference between political parties. Political parties in Nigeria, as it's done in other places, is not about ideology. It's just about which platform can serve my interest at the moment, and the moment it stops serving interest, people move to other parties that can then serve interest. So we don't have the opportunity to really build institutions that can then emerge as strong oppositions to the government of the day, which can then enhance the political process and governance structure of Nigeria. That is the big challenge. Only yesterday, like I cited earlier, the leader of the NNPP had come out to say that PDP as an opposition was dead. And truly, why is PDP as an opposition practically unable to function as such? Because they are infighting. They haven't gotten their house in order. And so when they are fighting, there's so much distractions, they are unable to even take on their role, opposition as opposition. What I see in the Labour Party is almost akin to cutting off your nose to spite your face. At the end of the day, there are parties within the party willing to destroy the structures of the party as long as their interest isn't being served. And then comes in the theory around perhaps are there external influences driving this confusion and this stability in the party. These are some of the concerns, but I'm hoping that INEC, as the regulatory body in this sense, would at least bring some sense into this. Look into the letter that has been written jointly by Mr. Peter Obi and Governor Alex Otti, and of course look at the structures of this party. We need to delve deeper if we're going to have stronger political system in Nigeria, stronger elections. We must fix our political parties.